why do poor white people vote against themselves time and time again? They vote for Trump and the other MAGA politicians only to have every promise broken, prices go up, social supports evaporate. Here's why. Here's why. First, remember what I talked about recently, the psychological wage of whiteness. That term was coined by W.E. Du Bois to describe poor white folks being paid with social status rather than decent living conditions. They're convinced by the elites that they're better than black folks, better than immigrants, Latinos, LGBTQ folks. They're convinced that being white puts them in the same league as the elites. Of course, the elites know otherwise, but the poor whites buy it because they're grasping at straws.
Grasping at straws is what the lady said. Well, hello, everybody. My name is Larissa. I am indeed the People's Reporter. All right. And I'm new here, but I got a whole lot to say. So go ahead and click that subscribe button. Hit the notification bell, if you will. And for those of y'all that are new, welcome. Welcome. And for those of y'all that have already subscribed, thank y'all. Thank you. Okay. All right. Now listen, let's get on back to white folks are, my white countrymen, they out there, they crashing out, baby. My white countrymen are crashing out. Yeah, yeah. And like I said, it's that Southern strategy. It's the Southern strategy. It works on y'all every single time. See, the deal is they will come and dog whistle the heck out of racism and that the immigrants are the reason on why you are poor. The reason on why you don't have. The reason why your house is falling apart. The reason why you don't have any hospitals in your neighborhood. They keep closing clinics and everything else. The reason why you don't have is because of other people who are not white. Right? You have been hoodwinked, bamboozled, and led astray on this whole concept and fake ideology of whiteness. And they fooled you good. You see, they have you believing that it's going to hit us when in fact it's going to hit you. And let me tell you why. Because, see, number one, baby, we're a very small population, although altogether as a unit, folks of color make up almost approximately 50%. And then there were those that said, oh my, you know. They trying to replace us, okay? And we gonna have to get our women folk out there back in the handmaid's tale, and we gonna have to sit them on up here in the house and shut up and don't say nothing, okay? Because I'm going to go make it happen. But you haven't made it happen, right? And so again, you blame everybody that doesn't look like you. When in fact, the people who don't look like you are not the ones creating the policies to keep you poor. Roll the clip.
Second, they are convinced that the people they're supposedly better than are the big threat in their lives. Not the rich, not the corporations or the politicians, but immigrants, black folks, welfare queens, LGBTQ, criminals, the usual scapegoats.
Hey, hold
Third,
on. I hesitate to call you sister, and I'm going to say lady. What do you mean, welfare queens, the usual scapegoats? You put black folks and welfare queens in the same sentence, and I want you to know that ain't cool. How do you gonna put black people and welfare queens? I know that's what they pushed out, but we all know when we look at the statistics, it's our white countrymen and women who are actually the most or the biggest population on welfare. Go on and continue with your story.
third, the elites promise protection to poor white folks. A politician comes along and says, I'll keep those people in their place, or I'll kick them out, or I'll lock them up. Or, more politely, I'll defend your values. They don't say, I'll make your life better. Well, they say it, they just don't mean it. They'll say, I'll make sure they don't get ahead of you.
Oh, what a tangle web we weave when first we practice to deceive. You know, that Southern strategy gets y'all every single time. Every single time that Southern strategy gets y'all, and you fall for it every time. Reagan did it best. Honey, Lee Atwater came out with that way back in 1954. Okay, convincing the white population that, especially the white men, right, that listen, it's everybody else's fault on why you don't have. No, they just dog whistle the hell out of racism. You see, Reagan went right to the site where those three civil rights workers, as well as Emmett Till, were murdered across from each other, and he sat there right in the middle and gave a 33-page dog whistle racism speech to a crowd of about 15,000 angry white men. Now, he knew doggone well that was going to bring out the worst elements of these white countrymen, and that's why he did it. And guess what? Because of that speech and states' rights and all the kind of stuff that we're hearing right now, he won by a landslide. Yeah. And folks ain't been able to get back since. But, white countrymen that continue to vote against their own well-being and interests. But let's see what the rest of them have to say. Or better yet, let's see what this lady has to say. Some more. Roll the clip. Roll the clip.
Fourth, they vote for the punishment, not the policy. When a law gets passed that slashes public housing or school funding or food aid, they think, good, that'll stop those lazy freeloaders. And they do some mental gymnastics that make them believe it's worth losing those things for their own families in order to see those problematic black people and immigrants and so forth being punished. It gets to a point where just seeing those guys being punished is reward enough, which is pretty sick. But that's how behavior works.
No, baby. That is not how behavior works. That is how evil works. That is how mental instability works. And you know what? Honestly, I'm tired of saying that that's mental instability. Racism is mental instability. When you have nobody who has ever bothered you, ever, but you constantly have them renting 99.9999999% of your brain. And really, let's be honest, the behavior of which this lady speaks of, in my very humble opinion, which is never very humble, is simply because our white countrymen and women, whether they call themselves Democrat elites or whether they're white elite or whatever the case may be, all right, all these cotton picking labels. But the thing is, once enslaved, always enslaved. Okay. And while many of my white countrymen and women have the tendency to constantly run this rhetoric where we didn't own slaves and we didn't do it and we're not this and why are we being punished for it? First of all, you haven't been punished for it. You see. What's happening right now is that a lot of black people are coming out utilizing this platform in order to inform people the same way that original hip hop was utilized in the beginning. And what you didn't contemplate and what you didn't anticipate was that so many black people and other people of color were going to come out and speak out loud. But again, because of this Southern strategy, you have jacked it up for not just you, but everybody around you, not around you, worldwide. I mean, just look at the case of events. And so now, many of my white countrymen and women are crashing out. My question is why?
Right now, I'm not seeing much for myself. I'm a small business owner. I have a flower shop here, and I probably just experienced the worst Valentine in my 45-year career as a florist.
Senator thinks poor people just don't know what they're doing. That's all.
And people living in poverty are just not very, they're not very experienced at navigating the real world, right? I remember talking to one young lady who said, well, I don't really know how money works at a grocery store because she grew up and has lived all of her adult life using SNAP cards to buy groceries. And so you literally have to teach people how to budget.
No, John, you know who doesn't know how to navigate the real world? The wealthy. You guys can't make your own food. You can't do your own laundry. You can't do your own shopping. You don't know how to function in the world. And you're going to tell poor people who have to do everything for themselves because they can't afford any kind of help that they don't know how to navigate the real world. And you know what? You're right about one thing. Education is really, really super important. We should be teaching people how to manage money better. Why aren't we? Why isn't our education system focusing on that? Huh, John? Because I'd like to know the answer to that. And further, whether you want to believe it or not, teaching people how to budget isn't the issue. John, you're rich. You've never had to budget a goddamn thing in your life. Not really. Not really. You budget on millions of dollars. We have to figure out how to make $20 last a whole fucking week.
I have to work 40 hours a week just so I can have a place to live. 40 hours a week makes me $2,000 a month, and my rent is $1,660. So I work 40 hours a week so I can have a 2-bedroom apartment and an extra $300 a month. Like, it doesn't cover my phone, internet, food, you know? So not only do I not have any extra money, but just working makes me so exhausted that I don't have time either. Like, I get off work at 5:30, come home, and I'm just so tired. Anything that I need to do outside of work, I then just push off to like the weekend, and I'm like, I'm just too tired to do this after work. I'll wait until Saturday. So then I end up with so much to do on the weekend that ends up having to be split into 2 days. So I have to do stuff on both Saturday and Sunday. So then I don't get a day off. I don't get a day to relax. I don't get to decompress. So it is really like working 7 days a week.
Every economic problem that we're facing in this country right now, student loan debt being just out of control, the government shutdown, SNAP benefits being cut, health insurance premiums about to go through the roof, your rent going up, your pay stagnating, groceries just being astronomical, is because reparations were never paid after the Civil War.
What? Girl, go on and tell the story.
Let me explain. After the Civil War, the Union, the North won and the South was defeated, but the South was never punished. The Confederacy lived on in the ideology of the people, of the white people of the South. Reparations were never paid to Black Americans. They were never really truly given the opportunity to pick themselves up by their bootstraps, to rise up and become equal members of this country, equal citizens. They've been fighting for their equality since then. They've never actually truly achieved it. So when white people hear a promise from Donald Trump et al. That we're going to run the country like a business, to them that sounds appealing. They're like, oh yeah, because you know what? I'm a business owner. I own this country because I'm white. When Black and brown people hear, well, we're going to run the country, run the government like a business, they understand what that means because they've been dealing with it for centuries. White people think that they are on the side of the owners, the masters, but they're not. Most white people have more in common with the Black and brown people that they look down upon. They are closer to them in the economic tax bracket than they are to the white billionaires whose asses they kiss. But listen to them glazing billionaires, especially on this app. I make $50,000 a year, but I have more in common with Jeff Bezos than I do with George Floyd. Bullshit! The only reason the lie of let's run this country like a business appealed to you is because you thought you would benefit. And now here you are. Now here you are understanding that when they say we're going to run this country like a business, that means they're going to profit off of your ass.
I'm going to start this out by saying I'm going to crash the out. Sure am. This is going to be a valid crash out in my opinion too. I was just asked by somebody how many vacations I went on this year and what I did that was fun this summer. You know what? Nothing. Nothing. You know why? Because I can't fucking afford it. I cannot afford to go camping and sleep in the woods. I can't afford to drive up there because the gas prices in this state are astro-motherfucking-nomical. Like, you just don't get it. People just don't fucking get how unaffordable life is anymore. The American dream is the American goddamn nightmare. It is bull. I'm so mad. You can't make this shit up. Our kids moved out. It's us. We are struggling to fucking survive. We are struggling to fucking just make it to the next fucking day. You know why? Because this fucking country's bullshit. You can't fucking do anything. You can't thrive. You cannot, not in this motherfucking, this economy can suck it. They can eat me. I'm so fucking done. The fact that I make over $2,000 a fucking week. You know what it is? It's motherfucking payroll taxes. It's the gas tax. It's property tax. It's tax my motherfucking ass, bitch. I can't. I am so fucking done. I just want a couple days off to leave the shithole fucking state, drive over to Idaho, sit in the fucking sand, put my feet in the fucking water, and forget this bullshit. But can I borrow some money for gas? You know, because I only made $2,800 last week. And, you know, this, fuck everything.
Okay. Now, after this last crash out with this particular one, let's go back to what the first woman said.
They vote for the punishment, not the policy. When a law gets passed that slashes public housing or school funding or food aid, they think, good, that'll stop those lazy freeloaders. And they do some mental gymnastics that make them believe it's worth losing those things for their own families in order to see those problematic Black people and immigrants and so forth being punished.
Okay. Well, it seemed like that Southern strategy got y'all all discombobulated. And now, since adversity has come to your side of the street, now all of a sudden you want to crash out. And see, this particular woman right here, you understand. I am clear that she is a forever Trumper. No matter how mad she act like she is, probably for clicks and likes so she can get a couple of more dollars here and there. Like she said, they making more money than they ever had. And she said, hands over fist. Basically, baby, $2,000 is not a lot of money these days. It's not. Now, depending on if you in a red state, it might be a lot of money, but hell, they closing everything down, baby. So while you thought that Black people were going to be punished and that we were lazy and all of these good things, well, you see that you working your ass off, right? And you say you can't thrive. Well, what the hell do you think has been going on with us? Yeah. Well, anyway, good luck. Good luck with all of that. Huh? Yeah. Y'all don't know how to handle adversity. Well, you're going to learn today. Since y'all decided to vote the way y'all did, y'all messing around and y'all finding out. You are effing around and you are finding out. I don't feel nothing for you. And guess what? It is not going to get any better anytime soon. So keep voting the way you do. And in a minute, little lady, you're not going to be able to vote at all. Good job. All right, y'all. Well, y'all go ahead and have a wonderful day. All right. Have a good rest of your day. All right. And remember, stay close to God. All right. The true God, because I don't know who they worshiping. They worshiping something, but the daggone sure is not the Almighty, the Alpha and the Omega, Yahweh. It is not him. So y'all keep drinking that Kool-Aid. Good luck. All right. Power to the people.